Let's now watch a video about learning through diversity. You could watch it all at once or in parts, and feel free to also pause and take notes in case any reflections come up for you as you watch the video. Whatever feels most comfortable to you, just make sure that you watch the entire video from start to end for a full experience. And remember to note down any reflections that come up for you.
Diversity is a fact of existence found everywhere in the universe and on our planet. There is so much difference in how we experience the world, in our cultures and customs, in our preferences, and in what we believe. How much do you recognize, avoid, or perhaps include, or even celebrate all those differences? Could engaging positively with as much diversity as possible have a real impact on the quality of our human experience and on our learning about how together we create positive change in the world? Let's look at a few important realities, starting with the distribution of our global population. We are rapidly approaching a global population of 8 billion people spread out unevenly all over the world. If this 8 billion were represented by just 100 people, about 60 of us would live in Asia, 17 in Africa, 10 in Europe, about 7 in North America, another 6 or so in South America, and 1 in Oceania. So a significant majority of the human population lives in Asia, with less than 20% living in Europe and North America. Do you live in a region where you're in the global majority or the minority? How does knowing this affect your worldview? In each of these geographical areas, our living conditions shape us differently. And there has been a dramatic trend towards urbanization over the last 20 years. While 70% of us used to live in rural areas, now more than 50% of us live in cities. Urbanization means that there is a far greater and increasing geographical concentration of diversity in culture, religion, ethnicity, languages, and attitudes. It also means that if you live in a city, it's almost impossible to avoid first-hand experience of the reality of human diversity. Do you welcome this? Find it challenging? Or perhaps both? Or looking at differences in income and wealth. Did you know that about half of the global wealth is controlled by just 1% of people, or that 70% of the population accesses only about 3% of world wealth and resources? In these early decades of the 21st century, we have a world where almost half of the population lives on less than $2 per day. Do you feel this is okay? What do you think would be fair? Where do you stand in the wealth spectrum? If you think about income in terms of our 100 people, then one person controls half the world's wealth. Yes, just one. Only about 14 of us earn more than $12,000. 35 of us earn between $4,000 and $12,000. 40 earn between $1,000 and $4,000, and 11 of us would earn below $1,000 annually. How much do you interact with people outside your income group? And what could you learn from thinking about things from their perspective? And turning our attention to gender, we know that gender identity is an aspect of human diversity that has been severely suppressed in the past. In our 100 representative people, there is a balance of men and women, but this masks the reality that gender identity is far more complex, with up to at least 30 different ways by which people now self-identify in terms of gender. What are your views on gender identity? How open are you to seeing things more broadly and interacting with people who might see things differently? What about age? How intergenerational is your daily experience? Or religious beliefs? Or culture and ethnicity? What might you learn from expanding your experience of other groups and perspectives? In our current global reality, we can't get away from the fact that we are extraordinarily diverse. While we can't help but see things from our own perspectives and experiences, we have to recognize that our normal isn't necessarily normal for everyone else. Collectively, our task is to recognize that our richness in diversity offers a great opportunity for learning, giving us virtually limitless resources for ideas and energy that can help to build a better world. What do you think and feel about all these differences? How willing are you to engage with diversity? And what would be your motivation?